I hired a mentor. I had to call her, I don't know what to call her, a mentor or a guide. I don't like to call her a coach because she's more than that. But she does the same work. It's not styling though. It's just, she just deals with women, bringing them home to the true essence of themselves. And I had been following her since so I was always intrigued with her work, and so I hired this past year.
Let's talk about that because I myself hired a coach, right? A business coach for the business coach, right? Because it's so important, because we can easily get stuck, right? Where we're at and not even realize it, right? Because we're busy, right? Busy, and we get caught up with our head down, not paying attention, just trying to navigate life.
Yeah.
Right? You have your career, you have your family, you got friends, you have good times, bad times, right? And you have to be present, right? You're responsible for this or that, or but if you find somebody who has been there, who achieved what you're wanting to achieve, they're going to be able to guide you out of that rut.
Out west where the sun always beams bright, Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme, providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that glean. BAM in Midland, building your dream. They teach
Bam!
Bam!
Bam! Here we are. Miss Pilar Chapa. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm really happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on here. I consider you an interesting individual.
Likewise.
I very much like interesting individuals, right? I'm a curious person, so you see, that's why you're an interesting individual already. So you have a lot going on, right? But since this is a podcast for entrepreneurship, right? And just community drivers, people who are wanting to make a difference, right? You have a business. It's called Pillar of Style, and you expand on this and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But you're a style coach.
Yes.
On the surface level.
Yeah. Style development coach.
Style development coach.
Yes.
Okay.
So as a style development coach, I help women reconnect to using the power of style in their personal style, because personal style comes down to the person, and I help them connect to the true essence of who they are, and through helping them and guiding them in finding their personal style, at the end of the process of working with me, feel more alive. They feel more confident in themselves. And then I have one client where everything's just, some of her dreams are coming true. Everything's just falling into place because she's showing up more authentically as who she is, which is part of the process as a coach with style development and guiding them through that. So
as any good coach, your goal is transformation.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And you're using style to bring that out. That's awesome. I like that. I'd really like to dig into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first I start with when I first meet my clients, or when they first reach out to me, I find out what their lifestyle goals are, what their long-term goals are in all areas of their life, including who they want to be, who they want to become. What does that look like? What does that feel like?
That's a very important part.
Yes. And what are you doing? And then, of course, getting down to the details of specific things with aesthetics. What colors do you like? What colors do you not like? Any specific textures that you like or you don't like? Are there any? Are you pulled or attracted to any specific culture? Is there anybody in your family that influenced you in knowing that background of that relationship from that person, what they admired about them, in ways to bring all these pieces together.
Yeah.
To, honor their heritage, their culture, and bringing out their personality, their essence of who they are through colors, through texture. If you want to be portrayed edgy, the more edgy, usually there's more texture within edgy style. Classy is more like clean lines, and somebody who's more easygoing, laid back, they're just gonna probably want just more. Maybe lean towards boho. And then there's some people I have my client in New York, her style is, compared to the other people I've worked with in the past, her style at first working with her was way out of my comfort zone of what I was familiar working with. But because I'm able to identify patterns, it's just everything is a pattern in life. People, behavior to style to everything, right? Everything, yeah. So in getting to know her, with that consultation, created a vision board. And in the vision board, so it's a mood board. So all artists use mood boards, and that's the guiding vision of the aesthetic of their personal style that they want to, of the future person to bring into the now, into reality. And what that does, and what it's done for me too personally, is it's a visual representation of the future you, and then start dressing like that person, and that future you is doing this thing, living this way, being this way, doing these things. So when you start to dress that like that person, you start to embody and act like it.
That's the word I was looking for. They're embodying their vision.
And my client in New York, after we did her closet audit with a closet cleanse. So first is the consultation, and then it was after the consultation usually is the closet audit. So to take inventory to know what is in their closet, where they're at right now, so I can know where they need to go next and what pieces needed to be added to bring that vision on the mood board to life. Right. And so when I get into their closet, there's some pieces they've had there for like 6 years, and I'm like, why are you still holding on to this? Of course, and they tell me, whatever the reason is. So when I get into their closet, it's like an emotional purge.
So I'm thinking about my closet right now. Oh my gosh. I got lots of trauma. There's trauma. My closet is trauma filled.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's all like memories and energy. Yeah. Like there's energies that you're going
like
into.
There's some shirts in there I know I'll never wear again, but they're there. I'm not taking them out, but maybe I should, right?
Yes. So I will come back to that in a second, because I have a personal experience with this. My client, after we did a closet cleanse, she's lost weight, and she wanted to. So there's some specific pieces she wouldn't let go of because she's like, well, she's hoping she could fit in them.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm relating. And
when I left New York and came back to Odessa Midland, she was jammed working. She was like she normally would. She was doing less physical exercise, but she's weight. More lightweight since I had left. Even her neighbor noticed. So, and we just started working together, and there's already some transformation there. And she sent me some videos on. I have my client send me like daily updates of what they're wearing and how they're what helps them feel.
Like a journal, video journal.
Yes, so a personal style journal, but like live.
Yeah.
And she sent me one of just her jewelry, her accessories. And she was just in the camera feeling herself, and then she ended the way she posed at the very end. She's like, "I know." She's like, "I know." I loved her, like enjoying her own essence and her own embodiment. Yeah. And the closet for me personally. So this was February 2023. I think it was 2023 or 24. I did a closet cleanse that year, And it had been clothes I collected from that I had kept buying the same kind of piece over and over again, hoping for a different result, that I would look different and I would find myself.
Yeah.
There were pieces I bought during COVID, and they were all collared shirts. I don't know why I kept buying them, and I still ask myself why do I still buy them sometimes. But you know, when I would go shopping, I was not unconsciously, I was very aware. I was looking for pieces that would help me remember who I am as a survivor, you know. So I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, okay? And, you know, that affects you in so many ways, in every single level, right? And so I did a closet cleanse after I went thrift store shopping with my best friend. And at this, I went shopping at the thrift store. You know, in college, I was the friend that everybody came to, asking me for help to go shopping with them and put outfits together. But here I am at the thrift store with my best friend, and I had been begging her for months to help me go shopping because I forgot how to do this for myself. And so we're there, and she's picking out pieces for me that are very unique and interesting.
That you would not have picked otherwise.
Well, if I had been me, you know, fully embodied as myself, who I, you know, and not had forgotten, you know, I would have. That's how I used to. That's how I've always shopped. I had shopped way before. We were shopping. We were shopping buddies. So she was.
She knew.
She knew.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know. So after she picked out these pieces, I asked her, like, how do you know which pieces to pick? And she was just flabbergasted, and she was also really sad for me. She's, that's a piece. The style, fashion is so much a part of my own expression, and it's also a part of my own livelihood of feeling. Since a kid, it's always been a way to celebrate life and in myself and all the beautiful things in life, because fashion is one of the beautiful things in life that we have to enjoy.
Is that something that was just intuitive? Did you have to kind of exemplify that for you? Did you learn that somewhere?
My dad, he, when I was a little kid, I would watch him, get put on his watch and his belt and his tie and his shoes, and all of those little details of the shoes and the belt and the watch were cohesive and coordinate together, and it would bring the whole outfit together. And versus before, you would always make sure his belt and his shoes matched. And I still do that to this day. It's a habit. I can't help myself. For me, it's if my belt and shoes are matching, it's usually red, because red is my favorite color, and I'll wear red lipstick with it. So it's red in the top, middle, and bottom. So I learned that from him. And then he also taught me how important it is to always be presentable, especially with the time period that he grew up in, with him being part of the first class of high school students to be desegregated, right? Yeah, from junior high closing down, and then those schools, those two, Permian and Odessa High School. So that was his lens too for reason for getting dressed, because he had to. Those were his coworkers, eventually, and they have that.
Right, and that generation, just compete, just to get on the same level, you had to be way better, just to be equal.
You had to be like 3, 4, 5 times.
Right.
Yeah.
So like everything, every detail mattered at that point. It all matters at that point, right? That's like, when I grew up, we used to actually iron. Right, iron clothes, jeans, right? Like it's so funny, right? Because when I was young, in junior high, in high school, I
hated ironing.
Man, ironing.
I grew up ironing too.
But that's wild. That's right. But then, then Gen X culture kind of comes in, and we're like, no, we're the rules. Change, not ironing. I want it wrinkled. I want it bagged. You know what? I want holes in my clothes, on intentional holes, not, things shift so much, right? But then I do feel that, even the ripped holes, even the wrinkle, that's still an expression of the personality, right? It just, the different times that we're in, right? And, everything ebbs and flows and comes back, right? But how you present yourself is how others.
It's a form of communication.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it speaks before you speak. There's so many avenues to this and so many layers to this. And so my mind's going here and there.
Just trying to decide what to actually voice out. I get it.
I'll just go with one and go to another. Like one way to use it to your advantage is like if you want to go to a networking event that is, a certain caliber, because, there's certain networking events that have different calibers, and some that you pay, some you don't. Yeah. And then, or whatever event, any event, networking event, basically. And if you want to intentionally stand out, because, as an entrepreneur, we have to be visible in order to bring in clients, right? So if you want to make yourself more visible and stand out, clothing is a way to make you stand out.
This episode of BAM BizTalk is brought to you by Flash Mobile. Whether you're managing your business, chasing your dreams, or just handling life on the go, Flash Mobile gives you nationwide for GLTE coverage. No contracts and total freedom, all at a price that makes sense. Activate your plan in minutes. Bring your own device. Stay in control wherever life takes you. Contact us and make the switch today. And now let's get back to today's show.
And it's very socialized. And, especially if I'm not well acquainted with a lot of people in the room, right? And I'm starting from, let's just say it's like starting from zero. You don't know anybody in the room. So I did time at a networking event several years ago. And I felt like, see it as for me, in my perspective, I was doing networking the lazy way. Someone might call it, oh, you're just attracting, you're being magnetic or whatever. So it was a black and white event, but nobody followed dress code of black and white. And I was like, well, I don't know anybody, and I really do not want to go start conversations, because I think I'm like, networking events that are intentionally networking, I feel like, for me, they are so awkward. And the conversations don't feel so organic a lot of the time, and I can't stand I just want to at all. But I made myself go. Yeah. So knowing all this about myself, I decided to outfit that would make me stand out, to bring conversations to me and have people start the conversations for me. Yeah. And it worked, and it worked. And as I walked in, or before I even walked into the building, there's people standing outside, and they started talking to me, and the outfit itself started a conversation for me.
Because they're commenting on your outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it sparked interest. And so that's what I helped one of my clients, Steph Castellanos with Mujer Fit.
Yeah.
I helped her do that for one of her conferences, and she's already on her own a very big personality. I don't want to say big personality. Yes, she has quite a bit of she has a vibrant personality, but she has a bigness to her that is hard to, like her I guess essence or power is very big, and so she in big ways, like taking up space. Yeah. And so now she's doing it on her own, and
that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
That's
the
goal.
And some for some women it's hard to take up space. Like, a lot of women want to hide and not stand out. I mean, not just women, everybody, men and women. Right. Yeah, and I really enjoy her evolution and growth, and now seeing her like fully on,
spreading her wings.
Yeah. Yeah, and me.
Right. That's the cool part about being a coach, right? Because it's our day to day, right? That's what you do. You're a coach, right? But so how do we fill our own cup, right? How do we, because just like everybody else, we get burnt out. You go and you deplete your energy, and your energy's gone. And when your energy's gone, it's hard to do what you do, right? You have to be present. But when you see someone else transform, and that energy they give feeds back to you, right?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So seeing her showing up in her life in big ways is inspiring to everybody.
Yeah.
And when somebody showing up in their life in big ways, serving in big ways, expressing in big ways, expression alone is, there's expressing in this society, the way it's, in its history and roots, it's, always been like a resistance for people fully expressing themselves.
Yes.
And
and with good reason.
Yes. And so, and to not play even on a bigger, more so now, the energy of that's even more potent, I guess you could say, if that's the word. But when you see somebody, expressing themselves in big ways, showing up in big ways in different areas of their life, is really inspiring. And it makes you get yourself or think like, oh man, like I want that, or like, or calls you forward and to take action and show up. How can I do what can I do to be bigger, or not be bigger, because the essence of who we are, if we really allow that essence to be free, is really big. Is our own, I think, understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's the possibilities. Like you mentioned offline, we started like just being exposed to the possibility. Oh, you mean I can? Like the actual reference, like, oh, I can be happy because you witnessed your grandmother. That's who you like. Oh, it's possible to live a happy life.
Yeah, live a happy, good, well-rounded life. My grandmother, people feel. So my grandfather had a tortilla factory called La Union, and so she started working there at the cashier register, and she loved doing that because she got to talk to all she got to talk to all the customers. And anytime, there would always be laughing, and if you would hear laughing in the store, you would hear it from where she was at. And especially when my grandfather and my grandmother, when they would cross paths in the store, there would always a burst of laughter because of their interaction that they had with each other. And it just felt like the store felt like a family, a safe place for everyone. The employees, they all showed up to my grandfather's funeral and retold stories of how he helped so many people, and that really left an imprint, a mark on me, on how I want to show up in life. Like, taking on the torch of helping people in the way that he did, which it's just beyond me. He stood up for people and had people stay in their homes and help them get on their feet, including siblings, from bringing them from Mexico. And my grandmother, I remember when I was like 7 or 8, and I was not feeling so good at that moment or that time period in my life, and it's like time froze. Time froze. Just was watching my grandmother, seeing her laugh and interact with the customers, and I thought, like I want to be that, make people feel special the way she made people feel special, make them feel like they're at home, wherever, just being in her presence, they felt like at home. And both my grandfather and my grandmother, they made people feel that way at home. So they built their store was of like community. So they were well known in that time period for, just for who they were in their store.
They made an impact.
And she's I say she's my style influencer. She had this snake print dress that she would wear. It was 2 outfits. It was a snake print dress and then a black leather skirt. And every time she would put either of those on, her energy would change. A lot of times she would wear that either at the tortilla factory or if we would go into the mall. And she would walk around, especially if we were at the mall.
Yeah.
Especially at the mall. She had like a walk with those clothes on.
Yeah.
Because she was like, she knew she was hot grandma.
Yeah.
And I loved watching her. I would also, the same pride about herself as the same pride I felt as a granddaughter. I was like, yes, that's my that's my grandma.
Right.
And that snakes printed dress that she had, I was a little girl. I remember thinking, oh man, I want that dress. Well, going back to the closet, my own closet cleanse. At the first we were at the thrift store. So, I didn't know what pieces to pick. I forgot how to have skill, that piece of me. And my friend, she picked out a black dress with gold hardware detail on it. And a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's my style. I forgot I like that. And so it brought everything back, and I was able to start shopping for myself on my own. I didn't need, I didn't just stand back and let my best friend do everything for me. I started looking for pieces. And within 5 minutes, I came across this skirt. So my grandmother had a dress, right? I came across a skirt that was a snake print skirt. And I also showed up to this thrift store shopping trip with her jacket on that day.
Oh, and you didn't realize,
I didn't wear her that much, but that day I was really missing her. And I put that day when I had only less than that, maybe 3 times or so. So it was my 34th time to wear it. So I find a skirt that looks exactly like the same material, texture, print, color, everything.
Oh, wow.
And I look at the label and to see if it's the same brand. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I took off the jacket. And mind you, when I showed up, I had very floppy, like hair in a bun, messy, in my yoga clothes with very baggy clothes. I was that disconnected from myself, that I was just, in that time period in my life, I was just putting on whatever.
You were hiding.
I think maybe on a unconscious level, yeah. I also felt uncomfortable in my body with that discomfort body. It shows. She had her jacket that day, and so I take off the jacket, and sure enough, it's the same label as a skirt.
Wow. And what are the chances of that? Right?
Yeah. And my best friend, she got really emotional about it, and me, I had nothing. Hadn't really acknowledged or computed exactly what happened until I went home and had a week's worth of new clothing for my job I had at the time. Yeah. And so I was like, I had no space in my closet for this new clothes. So I was like, okay, I have to clean out my closet. I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. So I put it off to the next day. I was like, okay, I'm going to put it off the next day, but you can't put it off anymore after that. This is what my conversations have with myself. So the next day, I still don't want to do it. But I'm like, you have to. Okay. I start digging through my closet, of like going through of what's working for me, what doesn't work for me. And I realized I had like 10, 11 of the same exact kind of shirts, just different color. And when I saw that, it made me sad, because it reminded me how, I kept buying the same thing, looking for myself, because like I said, in that black dress, it reminded me of a part of me, because that black dress with gold hardware, to me, it reminds me of parts of myself, like my personality, like very edgy, so rebellious, and yet classy at the same time. So, But anyways, so I started taking out the clothes that I knew I couldn't keep anymore, and in order for me to move forward. And I started to feel a lot of anxiety come up, but I kept pushing forward. With my track record at that time, I would have normally stopped, but I kept going. Told myself kept going. So I pushed through the anxiety, and then I started to feel sick to my stomach. And I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, then I gotta stop. So I just lay down on the ground, on the floor. So what I normally do to de-stress at the end of the day is just lie down on the ground, like grounding myself.
Yeah.
I just take a deep breath in through the belly and a deep breath out through the nose, twice as long as an inhale.
There you go.
Right? And then after I take, however many breaths that I needed to take, I then scanned my body to find where is this feeling coming up.
Yeah.
And go straight to it. So then I let myself feel the feeling all the way through once I found it in my body. And then when I found the thing in my body, what came up was, that version of me that was hurt, and taken advantage of. And then at the same time, 35-year-old version of me coming forward and coming up and saying, the woman in me coming up to talk to that younger woman and saying, I'm sorry that was taken in, that that happened to your soul, and I'm sorry that I was not available to protect you. And I just went a ball for an hour and a half. I don't know how much time I was there.
Yeah.
Just crying, letting it all out. So the closet cleanse was a spiritual, emotional cleanse. It was a purge. So then after, the emotional water cleanse, I got back up and finished the closet. And then a day or two later, I started my job, and I started wearing, at that job, I only wore the clothes that I got at the thrift store. And my energy was different, so different.
Yeah.
I was confident in my body, and then I put a pair of jeans that I got at the store after that, and I don't really I stopped wearing fitted clothes, and I put these pair of jeans on, and I was for the first time I looked at myself in the mirror, because I also avoided mirrors.
Yeah.
I looked in the mirror and really liked what I saw.
You're like,
and
ooh, I'm a hottie.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can rock these.
Yeah. And from that point on, since that day, I've just
embraced it.
Embraced it.
Right.
Yeah. So starting, it's been a process,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
But the first step was loving my body and appreciating my body and the beauty of it, and so using fashion and my personal style, which are fashion and style are two different things.
Okay.
Fashion is just it's just clothes. It's commercial. It's style is very specific. It's personal, because a lot of people there's no judgment. You do you, and we're all our own ways of expressing ourselves that works for us, right? And style is basically a story. With style you can tell a story. With fashion, fashion is just when you look at the magazines, and it's just a blanket,
How can we break that down to where it's digestible? So fashion is like the broader scope. So let's analyze it to food, right? In the food world. Would fashion be related to that's Mexican cuisine? That's the fashion.
Fashion in Tokyo, or fashion in Japan. Or this is trending. Everybody's wearing this, right?
A certain kind of genre.
Yeah, this is what everybody's wearing right now.
But style is within that.
Yeah.
That's specific,
Yeah.
Right. So Mexican cuisine. Oh, now this is the street tacos.
Yeah, and then you make it your own.
Okay.
Con tu propio sabor.
Uh-huh.
Your own sazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So style is sazon.
Sazon.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Flavor.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The BAM BizTalk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on at Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
So you're putting all different elements from within that fashion to put it together.
Yeah, you take inspiration. And
Like tying all the pieces together, like you're saying, the watch, the belt, the shoes, the lipstick, the earrings, the everything, the accessories, how it fits with the core. Yeah. Okay. And all that together, that's what you help coach your clients to bring all that together.
Yes.
You know, what's their style?
Yes, I help them. So with that vision board or mood board, vision board, that I give the mood board after the initial consultation, and then I present it to them to see together, and also to walk them through it, explain it, and why I chose certain pieces or what the vision is in this mood board, and my client in New York, when I presented it to her, she resonated deeply with what she saw, and like she saw her future self when she saw that, and and it got her excited.
Right.
She's like, and because she could feel that person, that woman that she embody is a lot closer to her than versus before.
Right. So if you look at the big picture of, like, on a universal kind of scope, like, we're here in a theater anyway. This is all a play. It's an act, right? We're here acting it out, right? And just like actors, we put on masks, put on, so it's more raw than our naked selves, right?
Yeah.
And we're like self-conscious that these clothes that we put on, we often try to hide and are not like, what does my spirit look like that's going to be reflected in reality, in the real world, to be able to present to the world, right? What resonates most closely to who my authentic self is?
Right.
That's the
Yes.
question that we never ask ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And we're always running from it.
Yeah.
Like it's part of, it's the human experience, right? It's take it back to the Adam and Eve, right? The leaf, right? To talking to the snake and realizing, that there's more than what we're,
Yeah.
and I think so. I've never ever heard of a style development coach before, right? So how did you get there? Like, where did you before? Like, what's your history? What's set?
Yeah.
And then how did
So when I graduated from college, I got a bachelor's in another bachelor's in political science.
Nice.
And I decided to take a gap year and get a job and use that year to get ready for law school.
Ah.
I got an internship at the DOJ in Florida, and
Awesome.
so explored that. And
Yeah.
at 15, all the way up all through high school, I volunteered at the hospital to explore that career field. So I was working but not getting paid starting at 15. And then when I took that gap year off, I decided that I didn't want to go to law school. I was just copying another relative. I wanted their lifestyle of travel, because since I was 8 years old, I decided that I wanted to live abroad at that age, and no matter what it would take. And it's still there. It's still a dream, is to live abroad. So I decided that, you know what, I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't like being, and I don't want to go in the military, because she worked in the JAG, Air Force, a lawyer for the military.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I don't even like being told what to do. Why am I going to go into the military? Yeah. So I decided, you know, I'm going to jump that. And then, you know, I don't know, at some point I decided, you know what? I'm just going to do what I really want to do. I'm like, nobody's going to probably be happy with what I want, with what I decide.
Right.
So I decided to, you know, have 2 college degrees, and I decided to work at Dillard's in cosmetics as a beauty sales consultant. I started in perfume, and then I got promoted within a few months to cosmetics, selling skincare, and you know, I started having freelancing on the side with makeup. My dad, because you know, you're educated.
Come on, yeah.
And at the same time, going to Odessa, I started taking photography classes at Odessa College. I also had a fashion blog that I had started in college. So in college, I thought I wanted to pursue fashion journalism. I would spend a lot of if I wasn't out on my free time, if I wasn't out dancing, I was studying my fashion magazines. I was just staring at them all the time, and especially at the ads. And then when my first day of photography class, I was like, you know what? This is more interesting than writing about fashion. I think I want to do this. So I dabbled in fashion photography for a few years. And then when I started dabbling in fashion photography, I realized it's expensive. So I decided I needed to get a job that paid more than working in retail. And one of my friends was a teacher, and I had never imagined her being a teacher. She and I were very much alike. We would call each other twins because we were so alike. I'm like, okay, well, see if she's kind of all over the place like me and rebellious too, and was like we told what to do, and she says she likes it. I guess I'll tell. So to part of my nature of just jumping into things without knowing very much of it, and I learned later, you know, a few years ago, that with part of my human design is the best way for me to live my life is through experience, you know, hands-on experience, as far as experiencing life and making a decision on whether it's what I want to do or not. But so I jumped into that reason and used teaching as a means to an end to get me around the world. So I went and I backpacked Brazil for 3 months. What was it for? It was 3 months. I backpacked Brazil for 3 months, and also volunteered as helping kids over there learn English through a 9-month program. It was 8 months online and in the classroom with them. And so I also used teaching as an avenue to get me around the world in that way. And also, wherever I was out in the world, I was trying to, I was networking for, you know, fashion photography and all that. So since then, I've been, you know, on and off on the side, working in beauty sales, doing that. And then with the fashion photography, it's helped me with, you know, like I had a client one year, she was wanting a personal brand photo shoot, and she did the same thing with her as I did with my clients now. Like, who do you want to be? What does your business look like? What's your business goals? And that's like the future. And then my goal is to capture that when I was doing that and bring it into reality, into the present moment in a visual manifestation of that. So, yeah, that's my background, teaching with 6.5, 7 years on and off. And I worked for a media agency, the Connect Network, and as a project manager, and did some consulting for that company as well in, you know, in the media aspect of that, and and overseeing projects. I don't know if I'm leaving anything out.
But it sounds like your experience helped you prepare for what you're doing now.
Definitely. It all comes together.
Yeah. It's
So
amazing how that happens. Yeah.
The media comes into play, the fee comes in play, and the consulting in beauty, and then, working at Dillard's was like one of the best jobs that I've ever had, because that's where I learned. I hear a lot of people say this, about some of their first jobs, especially the ones where you have customer service jobs. Like that job, I had a mentor at Dillard's who I still talk to this day. She's like really good at sales, and I really learned the value and joy of building relationships. And so, and while I was there, I loved it. I loved working there, because I loved who I was working with. And I had a really strong outlook on life too, and at that time too, so that helped a lot. And I loved having somebody in my chair. They would come in for makeup or for skincare, and then I would sit them in the chair, and as part of the consultation, then get to know them at a personal level. And they would also tell me their insecurities of themselves internally and externally too.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that process. And a lot of the women were much older than me. They were elders. And so I also took the opportunity as a learning experience to learn from me of like, okay, how can I live a better life so I don't end up like this, like that, And a lot of them had health problems and all that.
Yeah. It's the generational thing, right? Because back when I was a kid, 40-year-old, 50-year-old look ancient, like old, right? Now, man, you don't look old really till like you're in your 70s. Even then they're looking young. Yeah.
My grandfather, when he passed when he was 72, and I didn't think he looked old.
Right.
Not until maybe like he was ready to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't look old. He was always active. He always did manual labor.
Yeah.
From working in the farms, always working with his hands. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a harder time back then. And that's all they knew. Work. And I think we're blessed to be able to have the opportunity laid down by their hard work, right? And and the keeps going, right? Never stops. But I think you're embodying your history, and moving it forward, right? Because that's what you're doing with people. You're moving them forward into their authentic self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crypto inflection point. The rise of infrastructure over speculation and hype. Money doesn't wait. Neither should we. To most, crypto still feels like a speculative sideshow. But quietly, the story has changed. But the noise is fading, and what's emerging beneath it is more serious and far more powerful. We're now entering crypto's infrastructure era. Infrastructure, the hidden engine of every revolution. Real breakthroughs do not go viral. They are not superficial. They go deep. That's the inflection point crypto is at right now. With all this information on the importance of necessity of sound infrastructure in mind, you might be wondering, who's building for this moment? Enter Texacoin, TXC, a script-based mineable layer 1 blockchain that reflects everything this infrastructure moment is about. TXC is not a speculative play. It is designed as infrastructure-first protocol engineered for performance, accessibility, and decentralization. The vision is simple. Establish the base layer through distributed mining across the state of Texas and empower Layer 2 builders to create real applications with utility beyond speculation. Anchor the ecosystem in people, not centralized validators, antiquated institutions, or gatekeepers. Join the conversation. The Black Gold Energy community meets every Monday evening, both in person and virtually. Texacoin is gathering momentum block by block, and we are the movement in the Permian Basin. Want to learn more? Bring your curiosity, skepticism, or questions to one of our weekly Monday night meetups, 6 to 8 at BAM headquarters. Or join virtually The Google Meet will be in the event description. It's not a pitch. It's not a crypto meetup. It's a table for builders, thinkers, and doers. It's open to anyone with the curiosity to explore.
And it is one of those things where you make the decision, right? Because like I was saying earlier, so much of our lives is running away from it. Because I feel personally, I've been running away from mine forever, since I was a kid. I know I have, right? I remember an intentional decision I made to run away, right? So it was always running away. Until an older age, I'm like, okay, I'll stop running. And every day there's increments on that decision that it's like just cranking it down further and further, like solidifying it. Like it's yesterday was one of those for me where I was like, okay, notch it up again, notch it up a couple more this time, right? I've been slowly notching it, but this one I think was significant, by several levels. In days like that, you're not the same after.
No, yeah. Yesterday was one of those, me too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and thankfully with some conversations, from I had last night at BAM Burger Friday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was about, well, why don't do it now? Or you're getting old. It's true. Mm-hmm. You're getting and he was talking. The person I was talking, he was saying how, I'm 31, but I'm just 31, but I'm think how I don't have that much time left. Mm-hmm. And somebody in their 60s or 70s would say, you got plenty of time. Yeah. You got plenty of time. But I remember feeling this way in my 20s, like, as soon as I left my parents' house, went off to college, I've always felt this sense of urgency until, some really hard life events had me just stop and go inward and, and I wasn't able to be urgent. But outside of that, even in college and all throughout my 20s up until mid to late 20s when I had to slow down, I always felt this sense of urgency. It would bother me when elders, yeah. I say adults because 20-something-year-olds, I feel adult. Yeah, I would tell me, well, you got plenty of time, and I would think, well, tell me, yeah, like, are you happy with where you're at? I feel like there's a little bit of danger in, oh, well, you've got time, like. Okay, so I put it off today, put it off tomorrow, then the next day, then the next day, and the next day, and then 10 years later, you're like, 10 years have passed by already?
What if I would have started 10 years ago?
And, I'll be 36 soon, and, I'm just starting to notice my aging, like barely noticing it, and I thought it was going to be the exception.
We all do. I know.
And so when I noticed it, I'm not gonna lie. It was a few weeks ago. I'm not gonna lie. I was freaking out, really freaking out. And I was like, it was like my whole life, not more or less, but my whole. When I say my whole life is in front of me, I'm not talking about the past. My mind was immediately going to the future of my whole life passing in front of me, with me staying exactly where I'm at, and I also started having these thoughts of like, oh man, I need to take advantage of my youth that I have right now, that I have left. And that might sound, I'm not gonna lie, I do have some vanity. Yeah.
Well, we all do.
I want to take advantage of it,
right?
Because there is some perks to it, and as far as career goals and just opportunities go,
energy has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Gotta have energy.
Yeah. But I'm also hoping and betting that, because I hired a mentor. I had to call her, I don't know what to call her, a mentor or a guide. I don't like to call her a coach because she's more than that. But she does the same work. It's not styling though. It's just, she just deals with women, bringing them home to the true essence of themselves. And I had been following her since the And so I was always intrigued with her work. And so I hired this past year, and she's shared photos online of older than she does now. She's and it's because of all the internal work she's done, in freeing herself, and I'm, freeing ourselves is like a process, because there's layers that there's parts of ourselves that we're unconscious, that we have buried, and it's a process to excavate that, and let it, and wounds and trauma that are covering all that up that we have to heal from. And so with her personal development, her internal work, and just to herself, like she looks younger now than she did before, and I'm like, I hope
Awesome.
I'm happy for her.
But I love that. So let's talk about that, because I myself hired a coach, right? A business coach for the business coach, right? Because it's so important, because we can easily get stuck, right, where we're at, and not even realize it, right? Because we're busy, right? Busy, and we get caught up with our head down, not paying attention, just trying to navigate life. Right? You have your career, you have your family, you got friends, you have good times, bad times, right? And you have to be present, right? You're responsible for this or that, or it all kind of gets like where there's no room, right? Where, like, you don't even ask, we don't ask ourselves how or where do I fit in. You're just being, right? Without the intentionality, right?
You're just going.
So you can easily get just like this is what life is, right? Because but if you find somebody who has been there, who achieved what you're wanting to achieve, they're going to be able to guide you out of that rut. They're going to point out things that you see, but you really don't see, right? You see it, right?
Yeah, you see the fruit.
But you're not doing anything about it.
Because you're like, well, what do I do? How do I do it? How do I get
You don't even know that you need to do anything. Right? But hiring a coach, a couple coaches actually. I have a couple coaches, and I'm in like 4 masterminds. Like my time is is just engulfed in how do I get better, right? How do I improve? How do I make change? How do I take what I'm doing now and bring out what I want to be, right? And so this like walk, this is called walking, right? Right? We're walking into our authentic selves. Right, that's the goal. Right, that's the purpose.
It's also really scary too.
It is.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
But the path is terrifying.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It's all the sharks on the water on the path trying to knock you off. Right. And we're walking this tightrope, one foot in front of the other. Like my dad always used to say, just put one foot in front of the other. Just keep going. Just keep moving. Keep moving. And the thing is with that, you have to know where you're going. That's like the most important part, right? What's your future self, right? Because if somebody has a certain future for themselves, but you're telling them this other style, it's conflicting, right?
It's not going to compute.
Does not compute, right? And so you're what you're doing is with any coach is, what is the future that you want, right? Where are you at right now? Okay. How do we get you there?
Yeah. What's the destination?
Right.
Yeah. And walk alongside with you on the path. Not do the work.
To do the work. That's
they do
important.
All the results that you get. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the person was saying she hired a coach and she felt like she didn't get any results, anything out of it, and she realized, oh well, it has nothing. It's all has to do with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. So and I love that too, because when the student, right, at some point, so when you have that realization, you know, because somebody can tell you, like, what's that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, right? It's the same kind of thing, right? Like you can't just pour water down the horse's mouth, you know. It's a education by experience.
Yeah. It's like fishing for them, never
Teach them
how to fish for themselves.
Yeah. It always goes biblical. Yeah. So that's I think that's something that I would like for every to experience, that of finding themselves, you know. Had this interesting, so I did a podcast with the comedian Mario Salazar, Superstar Salazar, and at the end of it I asked him, hey, so how can I find you? And first thing he just says, well, first of all, I think people should go find themselves first.
It sounds kind of like a...
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
find yourself
yeah.
first, right?
Okay.
Find yourself.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow me, I'm at blah, blah, blah. You know, but that's very true, right? How do you find yourself? So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's no map. Like, everybody's different, but we don't have the map. I mean, it's the same thing with, like, well, how do you do your marketing? How should I do my marketing? How should I market myself online? I mean, it's going to be different. We're all unique. We're all different. And so what works for one person is not going to work for another.
Right.
See, same thing with, you know, parenting too, or raising a child. Like, you don't raise each child the same way or treat each child the same way.
There's no way. Yeah, they're different.
You don't teach this child the same way that you teach this child. Well, this kid is hyperactive, has these traumas and issues, and this kid is, you know, very unmotivated and sedentary, and this kid is just like wanting extra not one. Each kid needs to be taught in a different way, and as adults, honestly, like, I really do truly feel this. We're all children in full-grown bodies. Most of us are children in full-grown adult bodies. Yeah. And I feel like I still am to an extent.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, there's not very many people that fully step into their manhood, you know, like, to step in fully to your womanhood, manhood. And I'm not saying that this is me, 'cause I have one of my other mentors, is her work where she, I'm part of a community where we hold each other accountable and taking full responsibility for ourselves and full responsibility for our lives. Everything, nothing gets left out. And that's part of stepping into, you know, your manhood or womanhood. And most people don't take full responsibility for themselves, their lives, or, you know, they don't take responsibility because maybe they also don't have the awareness that, oh, I'm responsible for my whole life, so I can create whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can. Yeah. Oh, but I gotta also be responsible for my thoughts and my feelings, and also, I have to be a steward of my emotions and how to regulate them. And being able to regulate your emotions when times are very tumultuous in society, and then you have your own stuff going on. I mean, it's quite a skill. And I'm not that this is me either, but like, I know there are people who they can hold their ground and all the feelings, and they can feel all the energies everywhere, but they're still grounded the whole time. They don't get knocked down or anything like that.
I think the key to that is the resistance that we immediately, when something, an emotional trigger comes in, like, in the resisting of that is where the struggle is. Yeah. Right? That's where the tension happens. But the type of people you're describing who are grounded, right? And when that emotion comes, they don't fight it. They let it come in. Give it its respect. Yeah. Okay, here for a reason.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services, including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
Most of my life I resisted up until the last several years. I've learned to welcome it and embrace it. But she said you need it like it's its own, like it's a person, it's its own entity. Like it's like a child.
Yes.
That wants to be seen, and the child will keep begging and crying for your attention, and it's not going to stop until you sit down with the child, the anger, acknowledge it, and be with it, and being with it, and fully accepting it without any judgment
towards it.
or attachment to it. Like don't attaching yourself to the emotion, like you're separate from it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. So that ties back to what you were saying when we first started the conversation, and you were talking about when you do your closet audit purge.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you got nauseous, or you felt sick in your stomach, but so you did some breathing exercise, which is amazing. Like I've been a breathing meditation coach for over 30 years, and the body scan, right, is so important, right? So that happens a lot. Like that's how our diseases manifest.
Dis-ease.
You are uneasy with the emotions because you keep fighting them. You're trying to hide them, and when you hide them and tuck them, that actually gets embedded in your body.
Yeah, your body. Like,
you're trapped.
Your body keeps score. I mean, there's a book called "The Body Keeps Score," where it keeps score of those emotions in your body, and that's why, like when I was laying on the floor in that story, I could find it in the body, that emotion.
Yeah, and you were able to acknowledge it and allow it to say, "Hey, you sat with it." Right? You gave it its due respect. It's you knew it. Okay, and then you released it, right? By acknowledging that you were resisting, you were hiding, you were running from it, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm done with that. Let's talk." Right? And then that's ignites the healing process.
Yeah.
Now you're on a path of healing. Now you're intentional about everything in your life. Right? It's like there's this word that keep popping up, and it just fits everywhere. Right? Alignment.
Yes.
It's a powerful word.
Yes, that word is for me all the time too. Like that's I feel like that word is like
Yes.
lays like focus. It's not even the word focus, but that's the best word I can think of that is in alignment with the word alignment.
Yeah, no, it's very much because it's focused alignment, right? Because everything comes into its space, its place. Yeah. Right? It's aligned, and that's when
like your bones and
when you're focused, right? So when you're in meditation, there's a reason to come. The lotus position is so powerful, right? Because you're aligned. Right, like there's a definite triangle there, and then the Merkaba, the Star of David, the flower of life, right? There's everything is precisely aligned. So when you're in meditation and you're in a triangular fixed position, it's like your crystals like automatically they come into alignment, and that is like a hyper focus state, right? And when everything is in alignment, that's when you can operate at your more kind of authentic self. That's where you can start. That's a starting place of transformation and becoming, who you want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do bring I forgot to mention, I yoga. I'm certified yoga instructor. In my training, we had to do meditation twice a day, and breath work too. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I shared with you, all this intentional, conscious practices. I would have not been able to do this without ever having had examples, And, I had some great examples in my yoga community back in Colombia. Like my, like with I'm kind of jumping all over the place.
I get it. We're good. You're good.
Like with, when I came back from New York in July, it was that was an experience in itself. It was going into it, I had my intention was to be open to receive abundance. When experience abundance, being served by other people, and I experienced people serving me and treating me in a way that felt like luxurious. It felt like luxury treatment. Yeah. And luxury treatment is something you don't. It's something that you don't. There's no price to that. It's even how we treat ourselves. With how we set up a room that's treating ourselves in a certain way, of how we dress, because luxury to me is a feeling. Luxury so I'm just being open to be served abundantly. To me, that feels like luxury. But when I came back, after 3 weeks there, or was it 3.5, something like that, like I just had this really strong call from my spirit, from my soul, just will not leave me alone of what's next and what I need to do. It's this one coming back. It's one that I've known since my childhood of what's for me, what I need to do, and time is now. And so it's given me so much clarity, and with that clarity, it's given me alignment, like even more alignment. And with that alignment, I've been more focused. And so when I've been, working in my business, like, it's like, I remember one time, like, after I worked for like 3-4 hours straight, and I had to force myself to stop, I felt like a buzz. I literally felt a buzz. I'm like, I'm like, I imagine that this is what it feels like coming off of a drug or something like that, you feel like this buzz and this high. The clarity that I've received is giving me like very clear.
Yes. So you're in a flow state. Yeah. Especially when you're engaged for so long, and that's a long time to be in a flow state.
And usually you get that when you become, I guess, acquainted with meditation. That's usually meditation, but to have that when you're more awake, I guess, conscious or whatever, it's a good feeling.
Fully present, fully immersed in your reality. Right? Because you had a sense of that you were in total control, right? You felt comfortable. Because I think that's something else we run from, right? When we're not in the flow state, and control is, what is that? When you're a control freak, there's a word for that, right?
Type A.
Well, so there's definitely, there's that, because when you have a sense that you have to control everything, even though like I can't control everything, right? Impossible. Nobody can control everything. But when you're in that flow state, you feel that you are master and commander of your reality right then and there.
Yes.
Right, and then what you're producing, what you're working on, that's the work. That is what the purpose. That's the mission. And when you're fully engaged in that, You're in that flow state. Well, you're vibrating at a super high level, right? You're matched, you're aligned, right?
All I can have, the only visual that can explain that words can't explain is just like a direct, sharp line.
Yes. So like I have in my office, I have the bowl, what do you call it? The sound bowl, right? And sometimes when I'm feeling fragmented, right? Man, I'll take the time and I'm on the sound bowl, and at first I can't do anything. Nothing is coming out. I can't get that thing to sing for nothing, right? Then I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, okay. But if I take the time, I center, ground, align myself, then I can make that thing hum. And that's the point of that exercise, right?
What I'm hearing, that in the silence and between all that, I'm hearing not forcing it, not forcing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's coming up or coming through too is which is what one of my mentor in Australia often says, and she's always talking about online too, is just following our own natural rhythm, and also listening to our bodies, which is part of our rhythm, because our bodies are the vessel.
Yes.
It's the vessel for our soul or spirit. So if we want to get in tune with our spiritual vessel, the soul, we need to make sure our body's tuned too.
Right.
This morning, I've been having this over the last few weeks, here and there. But this morning, I was experiencing anxiety because of what I need to, my next steps and what I need to free fall into next. Yeah. And this soul calling, and it feels like a tremble in my core. But I kept pushing myself to, I'm like, but I got so much stuff to do for me to fulfill this assignment that I have to do, right? So I'm feeling the anxiousness, but I keep, like one of my steps right now is to organize and declutter and let go and get rid of stuff, which I've already been doing seems like already for a while, but there's more stuff to get rid of. And so I thought maybe it'll go away. The anxiousness will go away if I just keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it didn't go away. So I was like, okay. So I just stopped cleaning and just went into a low lit place and just stood with my feet wide apart, turned on some nature music, rain, especially if it has water. I like water sounds, and took a few deep breaths in and out. I didn't let myself lay down because I was worried I would take even longer. So I did it standing, and took a few deep breaths in, and then did the body scan, which is what I also teach in my classes, yoga classes. And then so after I did the body scan, I just intuitively just placed my hands wherever I felt my body needed touch, like wherever there was a certain energy that was existing in that part of my body. So at my core, I started at my core initially, since that's where I was feeling some anxiety, and then my chest bone, and then eventually I placed my hands on my back. And it was just very intuitive. Yeah. And I learned this in one of my coaching sessions with my mentor in Australia. And so I placed my hands on my back, and when I touch my back, I know it's because doing what I'm stepping into, or anything we do, it's for anybody, stepping into, it's a free fall, feels like a free fall. And so who's going to catch you? You, right? You. I mean, and yes, I believe in the one, in one divine source. I believe in God. But while I do believe that, I know that I also have to do my part. Right. So, at a young age, I've always had trust in myself. But this is gonna sound, I guess, paradoxical. I had this trust in myself, and then I'm like, and I decided that whatever it is that I want in life, I'm going to make sure it happens and get what I want. And so I've lived most of my life that way up until late 20s when I had to slow down. And I'm barely, these last couple of years, starting to come out of that season. So I've always, and this is pretty much all my siblings too. Everybody in my family, we know what we want and we make it happen, and we excel at it too, and really in a short amount of time. But despite having that and knowing that about myself, I've also, growing up, there was a lot of other thoughts and fears that were not mine, that were given to me, or that I inherit, that were around me often, saying, like, whether it was in words, like, you can't do that, that's not possible, or in actions, and how I was treated, not in a bad way or anything, but they were trying to do their best to help me out, but it maybe clips my wings a little bit. Or, just by, seeing those, or the examples I had, some of the examples I had in my life, that didn't support what I thought and believed and known since I was a child about that I got me and I got myself. And there's this podcast I listened to yesterday called Exposed, and the host, she's recounting exactly that experience in her life. I'm like, oh, it's a thing where she's always known that she can do anything she wants, but then she also was being fed fears that whatever you do, you're going to fail, or what if you mess up, or perfectionism and all that. So with that in mind, I say all that to say, that came up when I touched my back. When I was having that anxiety this morning, I placed my hands on my back, and eventually there was a certain part of my back that I did touch, and like, I think it felt like it was my inner child crying, it's okay. You got this, I'm sorry that, your self-trust, you got this. So, I don't know if that's Reiki or what. I mean, I've received Reiki, but I've never studied Reiki or been trained in it or anything like that. But I'm thinking it's maybe Reiki on myself.
Yeah, I mean, because it's super, you're using your intuition, right? And maneuvering energy, right? You're aligning energies, right? So when someone's doing Reiki on you, that's what they're doing. They're just aligning your energies, cleaning out, right? That's why when Reiki is more like a counseling session, because you're going deep. You're going into your energy body. So yeah, we can do it on ourselves. And
that's why it's also, like you said, it's moving energy. So then we also have to literally move our bodies. And so after I did that, I intuitively moved my body, my body.
Yeah.
And to an outsider, it looked like I'm just dancing.
Right.
But I'm just. That, I guess that form of movement for me is natural. Dancing has also been a part of my journey in bringing me back home to my body, reconnecting to my body. And so at some point in this path, I want to incorporate dance and intentional, conscious movement. Yeah. So from yoga to dancing, or somatic movement, and integrate it with all my other experience into style development coaching.
Yeah. Awesome. That sounds like a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It feels good. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
For sure. So 2 things. 1, do you have any parting words, advice for our listeners out there?
If whatever doubts that you may have, just pause, take a pause. Don't reach out to anybody, don't talk to anybody, just pause and breathe and do a body scan. This will prepare you to open yourself up and just sit in stillness so you can be open to receive what you need to receive for what to do.
And how to move next.
Yeah.
Love that. So for if you don't know what a body scan is.
Yeah.
So you're sitting with yourself in stillness and you're visualizing from your toes all the way to your head, every part of your body in a sequence, like a scan, exactly like a scan. And you're just checking in with every part, right? And just, like you said, not judging, you're just observing it, like you're feeling what's there. You know, and it's a great way to get to know yourself.
And you can also, it sounds crazy, but this is what I've done in my healing process too, is in that body scan, especially where you feel the most tension in that part of your body, talk to that part of your body. It's its own being, you know, like if you're feeling pain in your hip, you know, like send your energy, your intention, send your energy focus to your hip and feel whatever you're feeling there, and then literally in your mind ask, well, what do you want and what do you need? And I did that in the beginning of my healing journey, to come back home to my body, and I always got a response back. And then I would move my body in agreement with what instructions I would receive. And then at the end of my movement session, I would have a purge and I would feel better.
That's awesome. So how can you be found? How can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Pilar of Style, and you can go to my website, pilarofstyle.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Miss Pilar.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. Great conversation as always.
Yes.
All right. So looking forward. All right, folks. That's it. We'll see you next one.